chance to. So. Like, it sucks because, like, the last 6 months, my game's really hit kind of a stride.
Chance. Did you hear the interview okay? Yeah. Oh, that's him.
My body was moving easy. That's the way that I do it. It was a good day.
Isai Cabrera.
So Cody cut the personal training thing. And now he's got like, he brings out that specific personal trainers. But he didn't keep Taylor on staff. So Taylor's training there. He's doing only stand-up with Chase. Like, he's doing Chase private. Yeah. But Chase also is telling him, like, you need to distance yourself from that chin-up from war. Because he's like, they're going to put bad habits on you. Chase likes Taylor because he's raw. And he's like, if you've got bad habits and I get you, I can't fix you. But if you don't have any bad habits yet, it's like I can work with you. And so if he was healthy, he would have been so good. Yeah. I told him after the last fight, I was like, dude, I can't coach you anymore. I was like, I can still train with you and stuff, but I can't make you much better. I'm not a coach. I'm passing on stuff I learned from you and Jason in the Congo, and I'm just trying to give it to him the best way I can remember. But it's not the same as like someone who has like a lifetime to know. The three guys that I learned from the most, you three, all have done it their entire life. That's just so much to do. I could give him list notes, but like, if you want to be a real fighter, I was like, you gotta give me a real coach. So I'm proud that he got to 2-0 with me, you know, like, with me being his primary coach. It's fucking. But then I saw him in the last fight, he got dropped. One of the things I was trying to bang on, like, pad distance isn't real distance. And he was trying to fight pad distance, and he was comfortable there, and I was like, it's not the same.
And we're back with our first professional fight underway. You know, a decent resume with this Isai Cabrera. You know, he's a black belt under Draculino, who is a Gracie Baja general, one of the highest, ranking Gracie Baja black belts there is. You know, myself under him. You know, he's got Marcelo Uparu in his corner, another just legendary black belt. You know, I say himself, a slick grappler. I'd say coming to this fight, he's the favorite to likely win by submission. We'll see if he can pull that off. You know, sometimes when you go into a fight with really specific standards, it can be a little stressful and difficult, but there are not many better grapplers, you know, in the U.S. than the two guys in his corner.
It could be. Yeah, I was gonna say Ramiro's been around for a long time, basically since he was a kid.
Oh, and, wow. Okay.
He's. Oh, I say it? Yeah. But this guy, maybe because there's nothing to put him up against right now, but just standing in the cage, he looks much bigger than a 155.
Yeah, you know, you could tell a lot about a guy's fight shorts.
Yeah.
You know, and then, again, no disrespect, but those not very unique looking shorts. Whatever that's worth. I'll tell you, I fought in some shoot box shorts for like 6 years. Refused to change them. Ended up fighting a shoot box guy. Coincidentally once stopped wearing them after that.
Yeah.
It was funny.
I remember you always wore those, and I always thought it was funny. I was training at a shoot the box gym at that time. But you, like me, are an old school MMA fan.
Yeah.
And you respect the beginnings, and
right.
I love it.
Loved Shogun, loved Wanderlei.
Yes.
Loved the cut of those shorts.
Yeah.
I miss them. I have them stored in an old martial arts box.
Blood on them?
You know what? No, surprisingly, no. They're black, so
Yeah.
didn't show much. They were pretty worn out.
Hopefully it never happens. But if you ever have to take a fight outside the UFC again, I think you should make them bring a comeback.
Dude, I would wear those shorts. I'd love it. You know, I was talking to Matt Danger Schnell about, what we do after the UFC, and, best case scenario, I got 20 more fights in the UFC, retired old man. But that's statistically hard to do. I'm sure I'll fight again after my run. Glory's coming to Houston here soon, and that would be another just super cool show to fight on. There's a lot to accomplish in the martial arts world.
I've talked to Andrew Craig a lot recently, another Houston guy, one of the first Houston guys who made it to the UFC, and asked him what he plans to do. He says he's going to start looking for a fight again. He hasn't fought since he left the UFC, but he does plan to, is what he told me.
Yeah, Andy Craig, man, big idol of mine back in the day. He's still such a nice, cool guy.
Great guy.
And Isai pressuring into a double.
It looked like Ramiro was trying. He wanted to throw punches, but he didn't want to make himself available to be taken down. And, of course, that's what ends up happening. And it looks like a snake already starting to swallow a rabbit. I mean, he's just climbing up.
You can see the subtlety in his positioning. His heels trapping his opponent's heels to keep his legs extended. His hands never leaving his opponent's hips.
It goes from hips to hand. He's just climbing him.
Just right on the back.
Yeah, I don't think this is going to last long here. This is
So Isai has his right leg, strung over and around, his opponent's leg. They call that a broomstick. There's not only a takedown from that's a great way to maintain control. There's that broomstick takedown right to the back.
Yeah.
Rear naked choke, #1 most common submission in mixed martial arts by far. A fun fact, 2018 UFC, there were about 110 submissions, give or take 1 or 2. I forget the number specifically. There were 44 rear naked chokes.
Wow.
Almost half rear naked chokes. Second most common, guillotines. Third most common, by surprise, triangle choke. He's not quite under his chin, but he's got just such a strong hold already with that short hand rear naked. This will wear on you quick, and you can absolutely still choke someone to sleep or tap them over the chin.
And I don't like him throwing punches instead of hand fight. Yeah,
that quick tap.
That was a pretty.
I don't know Ramiro's grappling pedigree or rank, but that looked like a black belt rolling with a not black belt.
Right.
And it happened quick.
And trying to punch over your shoulder instead of fighting the hands, that's 101 kind of stuff.
It's like when somebody's mounted and they throw punches from the bottom. It's just like it's
almost giving
the last
up.
thing you do before you tap.
And really impressive performance there.
Yeah, I think he was a big favorite to win this fight, by submission, and he went out there and handled business. There's a lot of pressure in that, too, and that just goes to show just not only the technical training behind Draculino's team, but just the mental and physical prep that goes into it. This guy passed this test with flying colors.
Well, a lot of the times, there's these guys who are world-class grapplers who, when they first transition into MMA, they have some struggles. And I remember Travis Took when he made his MMA debut.
Yes.
I mean, I never could have pictured him losing that fight, but he almost did.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a whole different game.
I'm not the best gambler. I would have bet my soul that Travis would have won by submission. He won the fight, but he didn't sub the guy, and it just blew my mind. It just shows the difference between the two. Isai, black belt under Draculino. Got a professional win under his belt now. A lot of things coming up for him. The Gracie Barra team is very strong here in Houston. And man, Draculino at the helm. A lot of respect for these guys. And another just older Brazilian legend, Marcelo Uparu. I hope I'm saying his last name right. Just wicked jiu-jitsu. Between Marcelo and Draculino alone, there's got to be close to 40 years of jiu-jitsu right there.
That's wild.
2 lifetimes worth.
How many years for you now?
12. I hit 12 in January. Been on the mats for 12 years, been a black belt for 4 years.
That's awesome.